Not knowing exactly what to expect, I was fully ready to respond to any kind of news that might come our way, saying that it was just a little too dangerous.
Amid today's ceremony and celebration, to say security was tight would be a huge understatement. And we're not just talking about D.C. Remember, across the U.S., state capitals were warned to be prepared for possible extremist violence. Thankfully, those fears didn't come to fruition. That said, in Salem, the fear has already had an impact. Here's Maggie Vespa.
For the first time ever, Oregon's Capitol building is braced with barriers, fencing, and we're told an invisible perimeter of SWAT teams and state police. It's been that way for days leading up to Wednesday's inauguration. This in light of warnings that far-right extremists were planning to incite violence here and at other state capitals across the country. As of Wednesday afternoon, all was quiet.
It's been a nice relief. It has been a relief.
Mike Ritter owns Ritter's House-Made Foods. It sits just a few blocks from Oregon's capital. That means the restaurant had a front row seat to last month's violence when a group of violent extremists forced their way into the building during Oregon's special session. Same story on January 6th when a crowd gathered outside the state capitol, seemingly in solidarity with the insurrection in D.C. To put it bluntly, the warnings about more violence on Wednesday frightened Ritter's staff and customers.
Well, I tell you, it was really concerning. What I've gone into, it really is just a contingency mode. We're going to do business as usual, but be ready to tailor the schedule throughout the day.
This for a business that's already taken a 70% hit during the pandemic. And clearly Ritter's not alone. Earlier this week, KGW talked to Jonathan Jones, owner of Epilogue Kitchen and Cocktails in Salem. He says members of the far-right group, the Proud Boys, in Salem for these rallies have harassed him and vandalized his business. And our parent network, NBC News, reports small businesses in the nation's capital are also struggling to survive amid threats of more violence there. A restaurant owner was quoted saying people, including food suppliers, can't drive around D.C. anymore because the roads are blocked. Wednesday afternoon, Ritter was hopeful that the fear is subsiding.
And with time, things turn to normal. People are really resilient. Our customers are super resilient.
Helping matters. After delaying proceedings for 2 days, Oregon lawmakers will be in Salem Thursday morning to begin a new legislative session. Maggie Vespa, KGW News.